20 days till winter. What do we do in my garden? Well, of course, we plant. I'm sure glad you came along today. Let's take a look at a few things we already have in the ground, and then we'll take a look at a few more things I'm gonna put in the ground today. Now right here, we've got parsley. They're biennial. They're gonna last for quite a little while. We planted these this spring. We've been eating on these all summer long, and they're gonna do just fine over the winter. They're not even gonna need much protection here in Zone 7. Now, has anybody ever said you can't have enough beets? Now these are pretty cold hardy. They'll take it down to about 20 without any protection. Much past that, you're gonna wanna give them a little bit of cover. But they grow fine all winter long. Carrots are another one of my favorite, and we plant these all year long, about once a month. And that way we always have carrots. This we used a carrot hack, and we got a lot of good carrots. And then we got this patch which we planted in between some corn. It's doing fine. And then we have these carrots, which we just planted. They're right next to our cabbages. And that's another thing we can plant, and that would be your brassicas. We also have some cilantro that's coming up on its own, along with another row of beets. We also have some cold hardy lettuce down in here. We've got some collard greens that's going to take over this entire bed as soon as they get going. A few more cabbages that are a little more mature, and then turnips, which I'm going to be eating at Christmas. I think that we've got a couple that are coming along pretty well. And also arugula. And arugula does not like the warm weather at all. It wants to bolt. This has a really nice peppery, lemony flavor. Really nice leafy green. I'm going to go ahead and get these okra pods off. I'm going to save these seeds. I don't think my clippers are big enough to take these down. So I'm going to clip this down. So I'm going to go ahead and chainsaw these down with my little bitty chainsaw. That's one way to do it. And of course, another thing you want to have for your cold weather crops, Swiss chard. Kind of look like beets, except they don't bulb out. Very, very cold hardy. So what are we going to plant today? Well, it depends on what you like. Now, a lot of these you can plant all year round. We like to succession plant, you know, about once a week, once a month. We'd like to be able to pull carrots anytime we want, beets anytime we want. We like turnips quite a little bit. So it all depends on what you like, but there's quite a few candidates to put in the ground. Now I like using these plastic totes as a mini cold frame. Now the thing about these plastic totes is if you leave them out in the summer sun, that UV, it will make them brittle and they will break. They won't last very long. But we put them away in the spring. In between these Swiss chard, I'm going to go ahead and make one little row here. We'll put one where we just took out that okra. And I think we're going to put one on the other side of this beets. And all I'm going to do is just clear that mulch back down to bare soil. And this is the other reason we want to add mulch. You see how thin that mulch is. And this was wood chips, and that breaks down slower, but it's amazing just how fast that breaks down. Now I did get asked a question about the cut and drop. How big do I cut them? Well, there's no real rule on that. When I'm pulling the mulch back, if they get in the way, I just pick them out and toss them off to the side. They will break down eventually. And I like to pre-dig a couple holes at a time, makes it planting a little faster. Do you see that soil? That is just wonderful. It's just that fast. Now let's see how well I measured these out. Oh, carrot seeds, put that in here too, I guess. There you go, that'll keep those protected. But since we got an abundance of carrot seeds, I'm just going to scatter some seed in here. Let those grow in there. Slightly pat that down, and this is good and moist. We'll just come back and water this every afternoon. And those should germinate no problem. Well, we got a few more to get in the ground. Let's go over here and do the same thing. Part of my strategy here is we got beets here, carrots here, and that okra that we just cut down have good roots in the ground, which means we got active life throughout this entire area, which will also migrate to these roots. We help out that life in the soil. The life in the soil is what feeds your plants. So that's my basic strategy here. Sometimes in a chaos garden, I do have a plan. You can do this too. Well, let's get these in the ground. The other thing is, by having these tops on when I come in and put the new mulch down, it'll act as a barrier. It still amazes me what that soil is like underneath that mulch, even though that mulch wasn't very thick. And since we have beets here, as soon as those are up, I'm going to be wanting more beets. So let's get another batch in. Oh, I guess we're going to have to plant some collards also. So let's go ahead and get some beets in. I'm going to plant them root stout style. I'm just going to scatter them on the top here around these, and then just pat them in. Just double check to make sure my measurement was about right. Yep, that'll be great. And see, you got roots down in here. You want to leave those in. They've got life all around it. Now I'm only going to put a few collard seeds in amongst this. We'll see which one wins. Little soil contact. That's really all I do. And once again, yep. That's going to be beautiful. Now in an upcoming episode, I will do a more comprehensive list of what you can actually plant in December. But the basics are, you plant what you want to eat. And if it's the right time, get it in the ground. If you need to protect it a little bit, protect it a little bit. You can do this too. And until next time, remember, take care of yourself, take care of your family. God bless you. Come on, let's plant. Let's go plant garden. That's one way to do it. That makes that pretty simple.